I'm reminded of a story I want to tell people as it relates to compensation, as well as how it relates to how you take advice from people, especially here on TikTok. One of the common things that people that give bogus job search advice, whether or not it's on interviews or resumes or compensation, and especially in negotiation, one of the things they always say is, this is what worked for me. But here's the thing, you don't know what actually worked for you because you weren't in the room that made the decision, so you don't know whether or not it was optimized. So I have a story that perfectly exemplifies this. This was a while ago, and a peer told me this story. She was working with the sales department. They had this role open, they found the perfect match, the person had great experience. When they made the offer, the person came back with a really high counter offer. When they looked at the levels, at first they were like, we can't afford this person, but then actually when they looked at the levels in coding, they saw that the code that they had actually entered was one level below. And that when they put in the right level for what it was they wanted to offer the role at, the counteroffer that he came back with was still like 20% below the midpoint. So the company not only agreed to his counteroffer, but gave him 10% more, and nobody told him the truth. Time went on, he ended up resigning, and then he started writing a blog about negotiation. And in one of his blogs, he used that as an example of being a tough negotiator, of saying this, if the company really wants you, they will acquiesce. And the fact that he had tried to negotiate like 30,000 above the range that had agreed upon, never knowing that the actual reason the company gave him more was simply because they had put in the wrong level. And that's all that we mean when we talk about people giving advice and where people are coming from as it relates to their advice. While you may think you're an amazing negotiator, and anyone that quotes like never split the difference or never give the number first, unless you're on the side of the people that approve the offers, you really do not understand how it works. And this is why in place of any kind of gimmick or trick or trying to rough arm negotiation, the best negotiations are going to simply be the result of asking a lot of questions. And everyone always yells at me if I don't give the questions. So here are the questions that you want to ask as you get closer to offer. Do you share comp ratio as part of this offer? How does this offer compare to recent hires in similar roles? If you were me, would you negotiate for more salary? When was the last time that the salary was benchmarked against peers? Is this salary benchmarked against any potential gender or ethnicity gaps? Asking open-ended questions, especially to the recruiter or to the hiring manager, is going to give you a much clearer example of where you're going to be placed within the range. But always remember, unless the person has specific experience, and I mean significant, like more than 5 years of experience in recruiting, as a hiring manager, or in HR, then they are really not qualified to give compensation advice, and by taking their advice, they are potentially screwing with your money, and they do not care.